The question which rises to my mind is that who are the best mariners in the world? And the world knows that the best mariners always they talk about one person which is known as Vasco da Gama and the other is Columbus. But the problem with both of them is that they lost their route and then they found something by chance. And which was been found by chance was been said that it is a greatest discovery which was been done. Greatest discoveries cannot be done by chance. How has our great country Bharat been contributing has not been underlined historically, and the failure actually lies among the shoulders of the historians of India, because they have not tried to understand the maritime history of India. They have not visualized it. They have not been able to understand the depths and the seriousness. And hence, ICHR is trying to redo history, rewrite history in the form of bringing out the comprehensive history of India. It is also working out a big project with ISRO on history of science and technology, wherein we have a pool of scientists who will be working with us to understand the historical lineages of India. And we are also having one project which is going on, which has been floated as economic history of India. In all these three projects, this component of maritime history is very, very important. It's so important because India was a contributor to the world's economy. In the ancient times, India was contributing roughly nothing less than 34%. And by the time it reached to what is known as the Madhyakal, medieval, we were participating nearly in the 24%. Our participation was 24%. By the time we reached the 17th, 18th, 19th century, the colonial world, our participation went down to 0.5%. Now, how big was the contribution of the riverine trade, the coastal trade, the high sea trade? What were the maritime activities? And who were the active participants, which are the Indian dynasties which were taking active participation, and what was the influence and confluence of the Indian people across needs to be understood. What historians have been doing all these years is that we have been concentrating more on the Coromandel coast and the western coast of India, trying to understand how the British East India Company formulated the whole idea of India and its maritime trade. But if we have to compare the British East India Company, then we need to understand the role of the French East India Company, the role of the Dutch East India Company, the role of the Portuguese East India Company. What was the share of trade which was been happening across? And before that, we need to also understand our great Satavahanas, who were maritime rulers, the Cholas, who were maritime rulers, and of course, the most magnetic, influential personality, Chhatrapati Shivaji, who challenged the Western world by saying that we have sovereignty over the sea. By building Padma Durga, by constructing Sindhu Durga, by constructing Vijay Durga. And today, what is happening to Vijay Durga? Vijay Durga is on the verge of collapsing. Here in Delhi, we are discussing about maritime, and the greatest icon of Indian naval system, maritime trade, there over in Vijay Durga, is collapsing in the sea. ASI and all other important bodies, ICHR will be writing to them, no doubt about it. Now, when we talk about Chhatrapati Shivaji, we all say that Chhatrapati Shivaji was only interested in defending the sea coast, and it was a military activity. Shivaji had ships, nearly 200 ships, which were the naval fleet, and nearly more than 200 ships were trading ships. Marathas were actively involved in the world economy in the 17th century. Trade was very much being done till Aden and Basra. But this history has not been traced. The history of the Satavahana trade, which went on to Rome, has not been traced. Who are the players? Which are the communities? There are references within that the Europeans were constantly asking for the skilled labor of India because they were unable to understand how the Indian ships were being flanked. The procedure of flanking the ship, the procedure of constructing the hull of the ship was being done with utmost care. If there is very less time in the sessions, then you should always see that you call only 2 people in the sessions, rather than having a battery in the sessions. Anyways, I thank the seminar organizers over here for giving us the honor to come over here, having a small discussion with you. But we would like to discuss, we'd like to have this discourse being done more seriously with all scholars who are interested in this field. I would also request Professor Vasant Shinde that we have already secured one good place for ICHR, that is the Fort of Sanklem in Goa. And if you could please collaborate with us at the Fort of Sanklem with what you have been doing at Lothal. So the maritime exhibition can also be brought over there. What ICHR, I am just going to have last 1 minute, ICHR is going to bring out a huge exhibition on the glory of medieval India. And this exhibition हम राष्ट्र को समर्पित कर रहे हैं आने वाले 30 जनवरी को. ये साहित्य कला अकादमी में दिखाया जाएगा, wherein we are highlighting 50 Indian dynasties of medieval India, wherein you will be able to understand what is the scientific temperament, what is the technological pursuit, what is the spiritual and understatements, how languages developed within the medieval world, and how knowledge systems were being established, how great libraries were being established by the great Indian minds. Apart from the classic world, and the medieval world is not only about the Mughals and the Sultans. Apart from that, there are 50 such dynasties. Every dynasty has a separate panel. So I request you all to kindly visit on 30th of January at Sahitya Akademi at 11 o'clock and kindly come forward and give your suggestions and comments on whatever work ICHR is been carrying out. Because this exhibition is especially being done for the schools and universities across India.